The Run with Manny Wilson podcast is brought to you by Fifth Investments. Sports betting is cool, but you can really get the most out of your money trading in the stock market. You can make money when stocks go up, and you can make money when stocks go down. But all you need is a little guidance. So use the Fifth Investment Stock Trading Journal to help you get started right away. Fifth Investments is a fantastic resource for daily trade ideas, market analysis, news, and information for navigating the stock market. They got you covered with long-term, short-term, options trading, and more. So go to fiftinvestments.com and use the promo code THERUN for $20 off your premier membership, or just sign up for free. Trade the stock market and perfect a skill that's going to last you a lifetime.
The information is not trading or investment advice. The newsletter is only a personal blog that is being offered publicly for general information purposes only.
It's the competitiveness, just like you mentioned. It's the competitiveness which we want to see in games. Who wants to watch us?
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run, the Manny Wilson podcast. The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. We got a great episode for you today, man. Also, man, college basketball has been the talk of the town, more specifically women's basketball, because they had a magnificent championship game that we witnessed the other night. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest, too. So the men's game played UConn and San Diego State, which was cool, but it just really wasn't, given the intensity and the hype that's typically surrounded by the NCAA tournament championship. So I don't know. This credit here goes to the women's championship for really holding it down. They made the tournament game very, 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 very entertaining. I'll put it that way. But look, more specifically, we got some voicemails calling in too. So to give you a little backstory on it, man, obviously, if you watch the game, you know the conversation between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. LSU's Angel Reese. She taunted Caitlin Clark at the end of the game and gave her a taste of her own medicine, which I personally think is fine. I mean, you got to understand. Look what this has done for the game. Look at the conversations this has created since it happened. Obviously, many people watched the game. They broke records for viewership of the women's game. So it was crazy to watch. Great game, solid game all throughout. But a lot of people caught that last little bit of taunting at the end the wrong way. They caught the wrong vibe from it. Personally, I don't think there's a problem with it. We've seen a clean game. The game wasn't chippy. It wasn't dirty. It wasn't violent. It was scrappy. It was intended. It was a high stakes game as we wanted to see. And it was very good, but nothing wild or shady outside of the foul calls. But other than that, nothing dirty happened throughout the game. So I don't think, anyone should be talking about bad sportsmanship or whatever, because, I mean, it's a part of the game when you talk trash. So that's just my personal opinion. And then I like games with intense trash talk, and I like intense games as well. In any sport that I watch, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, soccer, you just like to see people compete. And when you watch that women's game, that was what you seen. You seen athletes competing at a very, very high level. So I have no problem with it. Let's hear what the callers have to say about it. It looks like we got one voicemail call in. So let's hear anything that they have to say. Maybe their opinion is different from mine. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. So let's hear it. Let's do it.
What's good, my boy?
It's good,
Booth, man. I just came to talk about the game, man. The women's game, man. That was some legendary shit right there.
Absolutely,
man.
Absolutely.
But the big controversy is about Angel Reese and the waving. I think it's all fun and games. I know the sensitive crowd out here and cancel culture, people of that nature, they don't like being aggressive, sports or sports being played at a high level. They just want handshakes and smiles. No, it don't be no smiling out there. Everybody that played the sport knows there'll be no smiles out there. And so my thing is, I think it was absolutely necessary. National championship game, she's not going to get the opportunity to do that again unless she come back and they just repeat. But I think it was absolutely necessary. If your opponent's taunting others that you don't like, You know what I'm saying? They disrespect your teammates, disrespect them back. You gotta stand on 10 toes. can't be with the soft crowd out here, man. A bunch of people that never play, sports anyway, having opinions. I don't feel me. If you ain't play no sport, I feel like you shouldn't have an opinion on sports. That's just my personal take, but yeah.
You know what? Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I 100% agree with everything you say. And I know it's a big flip side. On it, but it's the competitiveness. Just like you mentioned, it's the competitiveness which we want to see in games. Who wants to watch a sport or any game, women's, men's, whatever gender you want to attach to it, or undecided, and I mean that in the most sensitive way. I don't mean that or like in any type of way. I want to come correct when I say this, but long story short, what I'm trying to say here is who wants to watch a game that's not competitive? Nobody wants to do that. I'm not about to sit here, take time out of my day and out of my busy schedule, working 3 different jobs and watch a game that lacks competitiveness. That's not what I'm about to do. That's why so many people watch playoffs instead of regular season. In any sport, whether it's MLB, baseball, football, hockey, that's why so many people watch championship games instead of regular season games. Because it lacks competitiveness, especially in the NBA, considering this is basketball. So even in NCAA, that's why a lot of people like college basketball more so than the NBA and the pros of WNBA, because it lacks competitiveness. And I agree. And one last thing you brought up too, Boots, I want to mention this too, because you mentioned for those who played sports, you understand it's kill mode. You're out there trying to win. You're out there competing. You're not worried about, maybe I taunted them a little too much. Hell no, you're not worried about that. What you're thinking about is this person was talking about this, and this. You're motivated. You got to understand that. If you're a listener and maybe you didn't play sports or something, but if you're in the moment on the high stakes game, it can even be regular season championship. It doesn't matter. If you're competing at a high level, you got to understand your adrenaline is pumping, you're motivated, and you're trying to give your best effort. Just as everyone else on the field, court, or wherever you're playing, they're trying to give their best effort. So when you do something good and you actually come out victorious over a person who's been eyeing you back and forth, talking trash to you back and forth, you gonna let them hear it. Especially if you've been going back and forth with this person since high school. A lot of people don't know that. They don't realize that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark has been going at it since high school. Like, they don't realize that. This competitive nature between them has been going on. This dynamic has been going on for so long. And you gotta just understand, it's not a I'm intentionally trying to hurt your feelings type of thing. It's more so a ha-ha moment, or hey, I got you this time. The respect is there. Caitlin Clark already mentioned to the press that she's a fan of Angel Reese. Angel Reese has already mentioned that she knows what Caitlin Clark brings to the table. She knows how great of a player she is. That's already been discussed previously. And over the years, it's been discussed time after time. And even after this high stakes championship game, it's been discussed multiple times. So when people try and vilify Angel Reese as if she was stepping overboard by taunting her, even though the moment was so big, it's wrong. That's wrong. And I'll be the first to admit, I'll be the first to say, it was a little excessive toward the end. She went out her place. She definitely went out her place. She followed her around a little bit, did the "You Can't See Me," which came from Tony Yayo, that a lot of y'all don't know, but John Cena took that from there. That's history right there. But anyway, she took the Yayo, waving in her face and all of that, followed her around the court. I get how it can be very agitating and disturbing in a way, but also, you're not out there. You're not the one competing for the championship. You're not the one who's been talking back and forth the whole entire game. Like, you got to understand those things. So, look, that's what I'm feeling about it. If you feel any type of ways about it, go ahead, give us a call. Let's hear your thoughts about it. 219-413-9405. I know the conversation is going to continue to flow on, but I promise you, we'll double back to it. We ain't worried about it. We're going to double back to good conversation. So if you feel a ways about it, you want to share your opinion, actually share your opinion on it. I'm curious. So 219-413-9405. Give us a call. Make sure your voice is heard. Look, we're going to take a quick break here. We got some news for the run, and then we got NBA topics as well because the postseason is here, man. It's damn near here at this point. It's only a little bit of games left, so we'll be right back. All right, let's get into it. News for the run. Let's do it. So let's start off with some scores actually for tonight's game, April 4th, 2023. Some scores, some great games tonight. 76ers, they beat the Boston Celtics 103-101. The Atlanta Hawks, they beat the Chicago Bulls 123-105. Houston Rockets beat the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, Denver Nuggets 124-103. The Memphis Grizzlies held it down 119-109 against the Portland Trail Blazers. Los Angeles Lakers just got a win 135-133 over the Utah Jazz. And the Golden State Warriors, they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 136-125. Phoenix Suns also beat the San Antonio Spurs 115-94. Now we got some guys joining the Hall of Fame as well. Congrats to them. NBA champion and 13-time All-Star, NBA Finals MVP, Dwayne Wade will be inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame class of 2023. He will be joined by 2006 MVP Dirk Nowitzki. He's also headed into the Hall of Fame class of 2023. And another huge name, the most winningest coach in the NBA, Greg Popovich, will be inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame 2023. The rest of the legendary inductees include Tony Parker, Paul Gasol, and Becky Hammond. Great guys. That's a great lineup right there. All right, Andrew Wiggins, who sat for over 50 games of the NBA season due to personal reasons, may be returning to the Golden State Warriors very, very soon. According to ESPN, the personal matter involves an ill family member. So definitely due for him to sit out, spend time with his family. I understand now. All right, now let's change the vibe up just a little bit because the NBA's postseason is on its way, as I said. The NBA season literally ends in about a week. Actually, I think it's this week on the 9th. So here's what you can expect in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. In the Western Conference, I'm going to tell you this. This might shock a lot of you guys, but I want you to know something. It's a very, very close run right now in the Western Conference. Obviously, Denver Nuggets is sitting at the 1 seed. You got the hype of the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant, the Clippers with Paul George supposedly coming back pretty soon, Kawhi and their roster that they have. Sacktown has been doing their things, and the Kings, Warriors struggling, trying to get Wiggs back. All of these different narratives going on in the Western Conference, and I'm not going to spit them all because I don't want to confuse you. Long story short, what I'm about to tell you is that the team you need to watch out for, despite all of the narratives that's going on right now, is the Memphis Grizzlies. And I know, I'll be the first person to tell you, this team has a lot of drama attached to it. A lot of people don't like the team because of the players. You got Ja Morant, who's deeming to be a hood guy. You got Ja Morant trying to be hard. I mean, he had that drama. Dylan Brooks, damn near nobody likes Dylan Brooks in the league because he's always bringing that unnecessary attention, bringing unnecessary energy in plays where energy just don't need to be there. Like, you're up 45 points. Why are you still trying to, do something shady? Or, you get what I'm saying. You get the vibe I'm trying to pass on. Dylan Brooks just always extra. So they got a lot of narratives too. And this team is actually disliked. But the reason I say you got to keep an eye out for them is because they actually play very, very, very good basketball. Here's the thing. They're sitting at number 2 right now, missing Ja Morant from multiple games throughout the season. They took the Warriors to 7 last year with no Ja Morant. They still got players playing outstanding. Backup point guard, I got to get his name really quick because I can't remember it right now, but he's been playing great in Ja Morant's absence. And man, this team is actually stacked compared to a lot of what we see in the Western Conference. And despite that, again, the reason I say they play good basketball, you see a lot of guys know how to drive and kick. They got shooters who's making shots on the wings, and they were doing this without their star point guard, Ja Morant. So when he comes back, you already know what time it is. They got Mr. Highlight back in the game when Ja Morant is back. And actually, he played tonight as well in that win. But, man, they got a lot of guys, and this is a roster you just kind of want to keep an eye out. I'm telling you right now, they've had the experience too. Yeah, a lot of people mention that. A lot of people, and I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those guys where I say the key factor is experience when it comes to playoffs. Keep in mind, this team has taken that journey on multiple occasions, going to the playoffs and losing on multiple occasions. It takes that to start winning in the playoffs. We've seen that from the Boston Celtics. They were losing in the playoffs when LeBron was still in the East. The Giannis's championship run, they lost. And then what? We see them in the finals. It's a lot of teams that have to go through that building character moment of losing in the playoffs before they can start winning in the playoffs. And to me, the Memphis Grizzlies, they're kind of at that point where they're ready to start winning. So I'm telling you right now, you got to watch out for the Memphis Grizzlies, especially in the Western Conference. Now look, let's switch it up. Eastern Conference. A lot of competition in the Eastern Conference as well. And then I'm going to leave you with this on the Eastern Conference here. One of my teams of what you can expect. And I'm going to just tell you what to expect. I like a lot of teams in the East, actually. And there's a lot of close competition, especially 1 through 4 in the Eastern Conference. Because you got the Celtics, Bucks, Philly, Cavs. That's damn near it right there. If you're not in that top 4 in the Eastern Conference, you can damn near forget about winning a championship. Truth be told, let's get that out the way right now. Let's explore that whole narrative. Let's touch on those 4 because those are the only 4 that truthfully really, really matters right now. The Cleveland Cavaliers, Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks, and the Philadelphia 76ers. Those are the only 4 that matter. If your name is not that in the Eastern Conference, forget about it. Worry about next year. That's just the honest truth. But the whole thing here and what you should expect is the Bucks to come out on top. And I say the Bucks are going to come out on top in the Eastern Conference because they have a deep roster. Now, here's something that concerns me because I'm not going to be 100% biased in here. I like the Bucks. Obviously, I want Giannis to win. I like Giannis. One of my favorites in the league right now, but I don't want to be biased. Here's what you can expect from the Boston Celtics. All of these teams, actually the top 4, all of these teams, they beat each other multiple times. The Celtics beat the Bucks. The Bucks beat the Sixers. Sixers beat the Bucks. And the Cavs be beating all of them. So it goes back and forth. It's going to depend on who plays who. But one thing that concerns me with Giannis, going back to my point, is that these teams are going to build a wall. Obviously, Giannis has to deal with this throughout the entire course of the season, but it's not going to solely be on Giannis to haul this team to the championship. It's going to be on those role guys and how well they can play, which they played very, very well throughout the course of the season. Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, and Joe Ingles is coming off that bench. They deep. They're very deep. You got Crowder coming off the bench for the Milwaukee Bucks as well. Those guys are going to have to step up huge when you play the Boston Celtics, especially because they have just as much depth as the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's going to be a dogfight between all of these teams in the East, and that's pretty much what you can expect. I'm not going to go as far as saying you can expect the Bucks to win a championship because truthfully, I don't know if that's 100% true. And I'm not trying to give no bold predictions or no predictions that where I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to get no half-ass predictions. Long story short. But I will say, the things you can expect most, Cavs, Philadelphia 76ers, Milwaukee Bucks, Boston Celtics. Those 4 are going to go at it come playoffs in the Eastern Conference. So that's me, man. Look, if you feel differently, you feel otherwise, or actually, even if you just want to get it off your chest, let me know who you think is coming out the East. Let me know who you think is coming out the West. 219-413-9405. Let's hear it because the playoffs are about to start. The last regular season game is April 9th, which is this Saturday? Something like that. But anyway, yeah, call in, man. Let me hear who you think is going all the way in the West or all the way in the East. I'd love to hear it. But look, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you spending this time with me, whether you're listening to me on Spotify, iPodcast, iHeartRadio, TheRunUSA.com, Spreaker, Stitcher, wherever you're listening to it. Share this with a cousin, a brother, an uncle, an aunt, a neighbor, a coworker, a friend, a family member, a niece, a nephew, an uncle. All of that. Share with everybody you know, man. Until then, we will be back later on next week. And so on, and so on. The Run with Manny Wilson podcast is brought to you by Fifth Investments. Investing is the easiest way to double your money, especially when you do it right. Most of us need help with getting started, right? I'm telling you right now, Fifth Investments is the easiest way to take your first step. You can sign up for the Daily Trading Journal, weekly newsletter, including trade ideas, market analysis, news, and information on navigating the stock market. They got you covered with long-term, short-term, options trading, and more. So go to fiftinvestments.com and use the promo code THERUN for $20 off your premier membership, or just sign up for free. Trade the stock market and perfect a skill that's going to last you a lifetime.
The information is not trading or investment advice. The newsletter is only a personal blog that is being offered publicly for general information purposes only.